campfire put out. We are ready. Day 2. We were close yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit close.
I thought Donnie's opening morning luck in Idaho was going to continue.
It almost did. We were 150 yards away.
We were closer than that when we bumped them.
Yeah.
We loaded up the motorcycles and we've got a spot that Donnie just about missed out on elk season because of it, but he's graceful in his landing, and fortunately there were trees there to stop him and the motorcycle. But we're gonna go back in there. It's pretty steep and deep and nasty if we get a response, but early season I think that's our best bet, is to get back in where there's no pressure and the elk might be a little bit more liberal in their vocalization and get a response. Drop in after them.
See what we can find. See if anybody else has the same idea.
Hopefully not. We'll see when we get to the trailhead, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, it's morning of day 2. We had a bit of a drive to get here, but we've got the motorcycles unloaded and we're gonna head in probably 7 or 8 miles and access some pretty rugged remote country, and hope to get an elk bugling. We've got John had to take off late last night. We've got Dale who is going to video for us. How do you feel about riding the motorcycles, Dale?
We're gonna give her a go.
You've been on a motorcycle before, right?
Yeah, I've owned motorcycles and dirt bikes in the past, so it's just been a few years, but should be okay.
That's what Donnie said too. Donnie, you aren't nervous, are you?
Not nervous, just a little intimidated. I had a way of finding the ground pretty quickly last time we came up here, so.
Your knees okay?
Knees okay. Healing, it's not yellow anymore, so should be good.
Funny thing about dismounting the motorcycle over the handlebars is your knee tends to hit the handlebar, huh?
It does, and the rocks that were 10, 15 feet below it.
I made it to the top with the motorcycle. Dale's having a little trouble, so he and Donnie are taking a little longer to get here, but it's rained most of the ride in here, just a light drizzle, which is really nice. Other than it is a little chilly. It's probably low 40s right now up here. We're at about 7,000 feet maybe, but it's all socked in behind me. Looks like the rain's going to be here for a bit, so it's actually a good thing. I should be able to hunt all day and might get the elk a little more active. It started raining a little bit harder here, so I took cover under some trees and got a little fire going. And just gonna hunker down here and wait a little bit. It's just cold enough that with this rain, it's be good if we were hiking. Sitting here, getting a little chilly, so sitting by a fire, gonna eat a little bit. Dale and Donnie still haven't made it. Donnie was in the back, and I think he's just kind of helping Dale through some of the more technical stuff, but this cloud cover and cold weather, not even worried about missing out on the first couple hours of the morning. If they're gonna bugle, they'll be bugling all day, so once they get here we'll warm up, eat a little bit, and then head up to the top of the knob and drop off the backside and see if we can't find a bugle. These early season elk hunts can be really tough because a lot of the bulls aren't fired up at all. Most of the herd bulls aren't going to be with the cows yet. The bull yesterday was with the cows, but he was a younger bull. He was super vocal, but that's what we're looking for, is just that one bull out of 20 that's talking. And I really feel that this time of year, if you can get them talking and get in on them, you stand a pretty good chance. So that's what we're counting on, being able to hunt these bigger bulls maybe before they get the cows. I think is probably, this time of the year is probably a better time than once they get their cows. So we're back steep and deep and hoping that there's some mature bulls back here. If there's not, we'll shoot a 5.2. We're not too picky. I'm going to get a few more branches here and stoke the fire and eat me a Mountain Ops protein bar. Enjoy the beautiful morning. We made it to the end of the trail here, so we're going to dive off a couple 100 feet and kind of just walk along the breaks here, calling down into, there's pretty much 4 drainages here, so we're just going to see if we can get a response. It's a little windy. Hoping once you drop down there, the wind will die down, but fog's lifted over here, but it's set in on this side pretty good. That's the plan. They'll be right around the next corner. Quiet on our side of the mountain. I haven't seen any tracks or anything up here. Guessing they're down lower on the benches, but I still think we'd hear a bugle. I think it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock maybe. We hiked in a mile and a half, 2 miles from where we parked the motorcycles. Anticipated hearing anywhere from 10 to 12 bugles. And we've heard 0 on our side of the mountain, so a little disappointing. We're in some pretty rugged, pretty remote country that I figured the elk would be down a ways. We'd probably have to drop down after him, but I thought for sure we'd at least hear a bugle. It's been cold. It snowed a little earlier. It rained quite a bit. But either the elk are too far down to be able to hear us, or they're not talking, or they're not here. But there's one a couple miles across the canyon that's answered us 4 or 5 times, but Nothing over here. So, good news is this is the third fire we've had in the last 16 hours. So that's more fires than we usually have in a whole season. So I think now we're just gonna go back to the motorcycles and then go back out. About halfway we saw some fresh elk tracks there on the way in. So we'll do a little more investigating there, and if nothing, there's another motorcycle trail across the canyon that we might run up it a couple miles and bugle up in there. But I know somewhere in our unit there's an elk that's bugling right now. We just have to go find him. Here, clear across the canyon still. That same one. I wonder if that bull is on our side. He's down on that far ridge. I still think there's one down in the bottom here. Come this far, just one more point. I think he's moving. Sounds like he's out on the face and going up the ridge to the right. I think we gotta go back to the motorcycles. We're running out of daylight, and those elk are still a long ways down there. When I say a long ways, we've dropped 1,500 feet already, and they're at least that much farther down. Two bulls right over on that ridge. One sounded like he came over a little closer. Not close enough. So we're wrapping up day 2 and had a pretty slow day. We heard a couple bugles, but nothing close. We didn't even get a chance to get excited. The only reason our heart rate went up is because we were climbing 1,200 feet out of a hole. But for today's strategy for success, that's brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I think the key takeaway for this early season hunting is you've got to get close to the bulls to get them fired up. And we weren't able to. It's just too big a country. From 3/4 of a mile away, or however it was, from where we were to where the bull was, he would respond, but there's no way we could get him worked up. And 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, there's a chance you might be able to pull a bull like that all the way up that ridge and have a chance. But this early season, you got to get in close, and that's what we found yesterday with the bull that we played around with for several hours with Donnie. we just, he didn't bugle until we were almost right on top of him within 200, 250 yards. And then he got really worked up. But these bulls, they would sound off a little bit, but our only chance of really calling him in would have been to drop all the way down and get within a couple hundred yards of him. And unfortunately, it's too big a country. We were too late in the day and weren't able to make it happen today. But that's the strategy for success for early season hunting like we are now. It's August 31st. Those bulls are typically still by themselves and not grouped up with the cows, and pretty territorial. Got their little bedroom, their little pocket where they want to stay, and don't have a big reason to roam yet. So get in close on the big bulls early season if you want a chance of calling them in. Morning of day 3.
Yes, it is.
Donnie and Dale slept in this morning. I think Dale was up till about 2, downloading memory cards, and ended up sleeping in the back seat of the truck. A little slow day yesterday, so we're gonna try another spot. A couple more spots. See if we can find a bugling bull.
Bugle and move, bugle and move.
Bugle and run. That's typically what herd bulls do. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Bugle and run to find another one.
Fingers are cold.
Dale's up for another motorcycle adventure today, he said. He was quite eager about it. I don't know if eager's the right word.
I think maybe there's some coaxing going on there.
Yeah, he might have said something about, do we have to, or...
That seems adventurous.
If we have to, that seems adventurous, yeah. We promised him that if it got technical and dangerous, that we would turn around.
If it was enough to scare Corey, we would turn around.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Because I felt like yesterday, was it technical at all?
Yeah, we stopped at the point where Donnie took his spill, so we were just starting to get into the dangerous part. But it was all technical. But we're gassed up and ready to go chase a bugle. Right?
I think so.
Well, we made it back to the truck, and I didn't even see a track this morning.
Not a track, no bugle, nothing.
Nothing.
They're either not there or they don't want to talk to us.
And if they are there, they have wings, because their feet didn't touch the ground anyway.
Went up, I had 22 miles round trip.
Really?
11 in, 11 out.
Holy cow. Didn't seem like we went that far. It is noon.
Yeah.
Oh, that was on motorcycle. Didn't hike that far.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna relocate. We kind of made a little loop through some different areas in here. I think we're gonna pull up and head to the other side of the unit. See if we can have a little better luck over there. We've still got a couple bowls that we've located, so if we get desperate, we can always go back. Right, Dale?
Right. You're talking about the one that we walk in.
Nah, I was talking about the other one, but
Yeah.
that's all right. Hopefully we find so many of them that we don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe our bugle was just echoing and he thought it was up there and he just took off running for us.
It wasn't a bull, that was our echo that we heard.
We aren't that desperate, it's only day 3. It's worth the hike just for the views.
This place rocks.
Day 4 starts right now. I just wanted to see him do the grouse dance thing. That's funny. So we've made a little change in the game plan. We're bringing you Destination Grouse this year instead of Destination Elk. We're having troubles finding elk, but did find a nice little group of grouse this morning, and we got 6. The limit's 4 per person, and I filled my limit because Donnie didn't have his bow, and Donnie got a couple of them. But grouse is just absolutely delicious, and it's really easy to take care of. You just grab all the feathers off of it, rip those off to expose the breast meat there. And then you just grab that, pull it apart, all the innards and everything come out by the legs, and you just pull like that, grab the back apart, pull the head and the neck right out. Did tear up a little bit of meat on the male. The rest of them came out good though. Grouse on ice. Right. I'm gonna go find an elk. End of day 4. Definitely our slowest day.
Yeah.
Didn't even hear a bugle.
Nothing. Saw a few mule deer, that's about it.
So you're gonna get a montage of me bugling probably, and that's about it. We're just trying to cover country, and it's just early. It's hot, it's dry, it's full moon. Every excuse in the world of why we aren't hearing any bugles, but there's a bull bugling somewhere, so we are going to find him. Donnie's up tomorrow, and we are going to find a place to camp and make some dinner, set up a tent again. I think we've set up and tore down our tents
3 times?
4?
4 times?
4 times. It's day 4. So, just trying to be mobile, trying to move around, and it'll happen. It's discouraging, but we're not discouraged.
Yeah.
Do you have a dad joke? That'll lighten the mood a little bit. That'll make today a little better.
A dung beetle walks into a bar, walks in and says, "Is this stool taken?"
Wow.
One and only poop joke I got.
You told me you had a good poop joke. That was it?
It was good. I laughed.
We're going to have to do better in that department.
Yeah, that's what you say every time.
I know. I'm waiting for it. You've said some good ones.
Yeah.
You just waste them on us and don't save them for
Yeah.
the camera. Okay. Well, it's a start. It's about as slow as the elk calling right now, too. So.
Yes, exactly.
Once we start hearing more bugles, Donnie will pick up his dad joke game.
Yes, hopefully.
We'll be back tomorrow. More, I almost said action, but any action.
Some action.
Yeah, some action, hopefully.
Cheese whiz.
I'm good.
Let's make a little sandwich with some cheese whiz. Fill it up. And you're good to go.
We're destined to not hear an elk bugle now.
Destination no elk?
Destination lack of elk bugles. made that up. It was that bad.
That made me poo my pants.
No wonder we aren't hearing any bugles. Well, we are back at camp number 5 in 5 days.
Yeah.
We have stayed completely mobile all 5 days. We've hunted completely different areas. And we've gotten pretty much the same results in each area. Did have some bugles the first couple days, but it's got hot and the bugling action has not. So I think we might load up and head back towards the civilized world. Take a shower. Head back out this evening. Try some new areas.
Sounds like a plan.
Do you have a dad joke?
I could use a shower.
You could use a haircut too.
I got a couple of stray ones. I don't have a dad joke off the top of my head. I just woke up.
Is that a dad joke?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't have one on top of my head.
You got a mohawk on top of your head.
Yeah.
It looks like the mane of a horse.
Yeah. It's nice and speckled color too.
Appaloosa. But we have completely changed locations once again, and going back to an old standby. So we've I think Donnie shot 2 elk off of this ridge, and we've been involved in a couple more right in here. So good ridge right here where the bulls hang out during the summer, and good transition for them from the early season into the pre-rut as they're starting to roam. Just around the corner driving in, there was a bull elk track in the road, so they might be starting to move around a little bit and look for cows. So if that's the case, we're hoping to catch them up here tonight. So I'm gonna go up. It's I don't know, it's not too far, 800 vertical feet or so. It's pretty vertical though, but once we get up on the main ridge, it flattens out pretty nicely. So we're gonna get up there, hit the ridge, and just cruise and bugle off every vantage point we can, and look for sign, listen for bugles. About 10, maybe 15 minutes of shooting light left. We're just trying to cover as much country as possible right now, just beelining up and down ridges and bugling off of every side, and I think that's Today's strategy for success is it's early. It's September 3rd. Most of the time, we can get into bugling bulls by now. For whatever reason, well, I know a couple of reasons. Full moon. It's 91 degrees in the mountains today. It's cooling down a little bit at night, but with that full moon, and by 8:30, it's back up into the 60s or mid 60s, upper 60s. So we've covered as much country as possible by truck, by motorcycle, now on foot. We're just trying to find an elk that's talking. And there are other methods for sure that are effective during this time of year for hunting, but for us, we like to chase bugles. So right now we're chasing silent bugles, but we're going to catch up to one of the vocal ones here soon. But I've heard that if you retain sweat, it decreases your chance for success. So I think tonight we came up here with the idea of shedding some of the sweat we've been retaining and hoping it will increase our chances. That's my contribution for tonight.
My mop soaked mine all up.
Like a bobwhite quail.
You know how this happened, right?
No, I don't.
Well, when COVID hit, my hair was a little bit long. Everything was shut down. I was driving through town one day and there was a barber. He had a breadboard out front that said 2/3 off. So, well, that's a pretty cheap haircut. This is what happened. I got 2/3 of it cut off.
Thanks for joining us. I know it's been incredibly slow and boring. I can only tell you it's been that slow and boring for us too.
Yeah.
So, but we're elk hunting and we're learning every day. So it's never a wasted day when you're in elk country.
I've been getting 5 hours of sleep at night. We haven't taken a mountain nap yet because we're moving
some of
so
us
much.
haven't.
Oh, cameraman may have
I haven't
slept
taken a
little bit.
mountain nap.
Well,
I've taken a
you've-
back seat
I was going
nap.
to say, you've taken naps in the mountains in the backseat of the truck.
Like 15 minutes at a time.
I think if you
Yeah.
check your memory card there, you may find a few clips of you
I saw it.
snoring in the back.
I was never snoring.
Yeah. He already deleted all those clips, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was as boring for us for those first few days as it was to watch, I'm sure.
We had to condense it down and it was still a little slow.
No, it's just one of the risks you take hunting early season like that. We hunted August 30th, was opening day, so yesterday's episode, and then today covered, what, 3
Many-
days, 4
many
days?
miles.
Yeah.
We got very proficient at setting up our tents and taking them down though.
Yeah.
We moved camp a bunch.
And that was our strategy. I mean, we basically had a bivy pack in the truck of camp. It had sleeping bag, tent, and we wanted to stay mobile. And we knew the early season we were gonna have to cover a lot of country, especially our style of hunting.
Yeah.
Just wanting to find a bull that was bugling to call in, and
They
4
weren't
days
bugling.
later we're still looking for a bull that was bugling.
Yeah.
But
There was nothing bugling and it was hot, smoky. The fires had filled the air up around here, so.
yeah, it was. Visibility was bad. I mean, just usually bugling a lot, you get a little bit of a sore throat sometimes, but that smoke, just hiking in it, and I had a chronic sore throat for that first 3 or 4 days. We hiked, we rode motorcycles, we drove a ton. I think we had 9 or 10 areas on our list to check out, knowing we would need multiple backup areas, more so than normal. And I think we're over halfway through the list already. So, speaking of motorcycles, Dale one of Randy's camera guys that he loaned to us for the first week. I don't know if he's going to loan him to us again. Dale didn't like the motorcycle riding.
Yeah. And we took him up where I wrecked. And
we stopped there, though. We didn't go to where Donnie wrecked.
It was a little bit difficult. It was more than just an average ride.
Yeah.
And he hadn't ridden in a while.
It was mountain trails. It was technical. It was a good experience. But I know he, the next day we said, hey, do we want to go back up in there? Because we did actually hear a couple bugles way off in the distance there. And knowing that it was early, we probably better capitalize on any bugles we heard. So we asked Dale, good going back up there tomorrow? And I think his comment was, if you guys go back there, you're going to need a new camera guy.
Yeah.
So, strategy for success. So each day we're going to try to provide a strategy for success. And some days it's, we'll talk about what worked. Some days we'll talk about what didn't work. Some days we'll talk about what we should have done. Today we're just going to highlight what we've kind of already mentioned, and strategies for success in each episode is brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. And today it's just staying mobile, especially early season. You've got to be prepared to just cover a lot of country, and hiking doesn't do it. Like hiking alone, we can say we cover a lot of country, but 10 miles a day, there were days we did that and didn't cut a fresh track or hear a bugle. So staying mobile in this case means either riding motorcycles so we can cover 20 miles in a day, or driving to the other side of the unit just to see if there's any action there. And that's really what it came down to for us, was just crossing off areas off the list, areas we had scouted, areas we'd wanted to check out, and going from one to the next, not getting stuck in a rut and saying, oh, this area looks great, there's got to be elk, because we saw some great looking elk country.
Yeah.
And you didn't see much elk sign.
If the elk aren't talking, we're not walking.
Okay, we'll go with that. You already gave them 3 lame dad jokes in this episode. We don't,
trying to make up for those.
the dung beetle and the puma, and what was the other one? Oh, the haircut. Hey, show us your haircut.
My haircut?
Yeah, show us your haircut.
It's the same haircut still.
No, it's not the same.
It's grown out
I was
just a
going to
touch.
say, look at that.
It's growing out.
When?
I'll keep growing it for a little bit longer.
I was going to say, what's the plan for cutting it?
I don't know. I cut it just after my 50th birthday. So maybe I'll just keep it until my 51st. And
As long as it doesn't go through next elk season.
I think I might grow it the other way next time. Corey's just jealous.
I am jealous. My haircut looks the same every day.
Yep.
It was a rough stretch, but just we didn't want to drag you through 4 episodes of that because there weren't a lot of highlights. We ate a lot of huckleberries. We killed some grouse. We had a great time, but if we're trying to educate you and share some entertainment from the elk hunting perspective, these episodes were not the ones to do it in. So we'll wrap it up with some giveaways. Remember, every day we're giving away 4 packages, 4 winners every day. And if you do the math on that, with 25 episodes, that's 100 winners. Plus the big prizes will be given away on the days we're successful, which I think we had 9 successful hunts this season. So, yeah. So we got a lot to give away. So just comment below. That's all you have to do. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Say hi.
Yeah.
Tell us how your elk season went. Whatever. Just make a comment. Know that we do read them, and the ones that spend a little bit of extra time and make them meaningful, we get a bigger kick out of that. So tell a dad joke. For heaven's sakes, help Donnie out.
I got quite a few this off season from people that left jokes on there or DM'd me or whatever. But
Yep. So that's it for episode 2. Episode 3 gets better. So things start heating up here in Idaho.
yes.
And, we're hunting early, and we knew it would be tough. Part of that is we wanted to save the prime dates to go to Oregon and hunt Roosevelt during prime time. So that's why we're hitting it early here in Idaho, and hopefully we're able to share a little bit of the struggle and maybe some education along the way.
Yeah.
So See you tomorrow night, same time.
Do you dream of going on a do-it-yourself elk hunt but don't know where to start? Or have you previously hunted elk but failed to fill your tag? Are you simply looking to increase your success and become a more consistently successful elk hunter? If you answered yes to any of these questions, the University of Elk Hunting online course is for you. Click here to learn how the University of Elk Hunting online course can help you maximize your elk hunting success.